Today, we're diving headfirst into one of Martell Holt's most ambitious moves to date, a massive real estate project that's got everyone talking. But let me tell you, this isn't just about building a house. This is about legacy, resilience, and a man determined to rise, no matter how many times life tries to knock him down. If you think you know Martell, his strategy, his real estate hustle, or how he moves when he's locked in, think again, because this project it's different. And the deeper we go, the more you'll see exactly why. Make sure you stay with me all the way through, because each layer of this story reveals something new about how Martell thinks, how he works, and how he's planning to make serious noise in the Huntsville real estate scene. And just a quick reminder, everything we're discussing here is based on what's been publicly shown and talked about. My goal is to break it all down in a real, honest, and easy-to-follow way. From the moment Martell sat down to talk about this new build, you could feel a shift. The vibe changed instantly. This wasn't small talk. This wasn't a side hustle. This was Martell stepping into something bold, something major. And when he casually dropped the fact that this home will span over 10,000 square feet, actually closer to 11,500 if you include the garage, that confidence, unmistakable. He wasn't fumbling for answers. He wasn't guessing. He spoke with clarity, vision, and purpose, and that right there is why people still watch Martell closely. Despite the public drama and personal setbacks when it comes to real estate, when it comes to building from the ground up, Martell is in his element. He knows the game. And this project is his way of showing he's still a serious player. This isn't just about square footage, this is about redemption. This is about proving to the industry, to the skeptics, and to himself that he still got it. And then some. Chris was right there beside him, listening closely. Their history goes way back. Moments of partnership, moments of tension, but in this moment, it was strictly business. Chris wasn't there to rehash the past. He was there to hear the vision, and as Martell laid out his plan, explaining that while the total size was around 11,500 square feet, only 10,000 of that would be heated and cooled, you could tell he was thinking like a strategist. That's not just numbers, that's market insight. Because when you're building for high-end buyers, details like that matter. It's about maximizing livable luxury without wasting space or energy. But then came the curveball. The timeline? Martell said he plans to have this massive custom-built home finished in just 8 months. 8 months. And the look on Chris's face said it all. Shock, disbelief, maybe even concern, because most homes of this size take at least a year, if not more. But Martell? He's not here to play it safe. He talked about assembling the right team, offering the right incentives, and motivating his crew to keep the pace high and the quality higher. And when he mentioned incentives, you could tell he's ready to grind harder, push further, and get this done on his terms. This same hustle is what powered his earlier builds, like the one he ended up moving into himself after it didn't sell fast enough, and Chris didn't let that memory slide. He reminded Martell of how that situation played out, almost as a warning. It was a pivotal moment, a reminder that big dreams come with big risks, but also a reminder of who Martell is, someone who doesn't fold when things get tough, someone who believes he can outwork any outcome. That same belief is exactly what's driving this new project. And trust me, the financial part, it's coming. What Martell revealed next opened up a whole new layer of this story, a layer that shows just how deep his ambition really runs. So keep watching, because this next part, it says everything about how Martell is planning to play and win in a game that's bigger than ever before. Now, here's where the conversation took a turn that most people didn't see coming. Martell started speaking about Huntsville in a way that reframed the entire real estate conversation. He made a bold observation. There are currently 0 newly built multi-million-dollar homes on the market in the area. Not one. And right there, that's the heartbeat of his entire strategy. Martell isn't just throwing up a big house for the sake of it. He's challenging the assumption that a $3.5 million home won't sell in Huntsville. In his mind, the issue isn't demand, it's supply. How can buyers invest in luxury if there's no luxury inventory available? That kind of thinking separates average builders from true visionaries. He's not just building a house, he's filling a gap in the market no one else has dared to touch. And if he's right, this could be the first of its kind in Huntsville history. At this point, the vibe between Martell and Chris shifted. This wasn't casual anymore. It felt like a boardroom. Level strategy session, Chris. Always the realist, suggested Martell set a hard timeline for how long he'll allow the house to sit on the market before deciding whether or not to move in. That was his way of trying to avoid history repeating itself. The last time Martell built a beautiful home, it didn't sell on schedule, and he ended up moving in himself. But this time, Martell didn't get defensive. He didn't brush it off or shift the conversation, he actually leaned in. He said he welcomed that level of accountability, and not just from Chris, but from the entire group, including Cale. That right there. That was growth. That was a man operating like a developer, not just someone chasing a dream. It was a real moment of clarity, one that showed Martell is stepping into this phase of life with more intention, more focus, and more maturity. And if you've followed his journey over the years, you know exactly how far he's come. From his very public divorce with Melody Cherie, to co-parenting challenges, to custody battles that played out in front of millions. Martell's personal life has been anything but private. Then came the affair with Arionne Curry, the child born during his marriage, and all the mess that followed. The drama with Faye Whitfield. The legal issues, the headlines. For a long time, people doubted whether he'd ever regain his footing in the business world, especially real estate, where he once thrived. So to see him now, laser-focused, sitting across from Chris discussing a high-stakes, high-end build. It wasn't just a storyline, it was symbolic. It showed a man trying to reconnect with the part of himself that was confident, capable, and respected. That's why this project hits differently. It matters not just for Martell, but for the entire ecosystem around him. The market, the cast, the fans, and the very soul of love and marriage, Huntsville. Real estate is what brought this group together. It's what made their lives intertwine, and it's what made viewers fall in love with the show in the first place. So watching Martell return to the game at this level, it's a full circle moment. But beyond the walls and windows, beyond the permits and plans, there's a deeper question. Is Martell truly ready to stay the course? Can he maintain focus long enough to see the project through without getting sidetracked by drama, ego, or distractions? Can he take feedback from people like Chris and use it as fuel instead of taking it personally? Those are the real questions, and ones fans have been asking for years. And to his credit, the Martell we saw in this scene gave us some hope. His energy was calm, his words were measured. He wasn't talking about flipping for fast cash or chasing a quick come. He was talking about creating something meaningful, something that could shift the entire landscape of Huntsville real estate, something that could pave the way for more builders to enter the luxury space. That kind of thinking, that's legacy thinking. Because when a developer starts seeing their work, not just as construction, but as contribution, that's when you know they're not just building a house, they're building a statement. And if Martell can stick to that path, he just might change the game for good. Chris's reaction throughout this conversation speaks volumes. He's known Martell for years, not just as a colleague, but as a friend who's witnessed the highs and the lows. And that's what makes his body language and tone so important. Chris wasn't just nodding along. He was listening closely, offering support, but also keeping a mental checklist. You could tell he sees the potential in this project, but he also knows Martell's history. He's watched him fumble opportunities by rushing, reacting, or letting pride get in the way. So when Chris offers thoughtful responses mixed with a hint of caution, it is not to doubt Martell. It's to protect the vision. He wants this to succeed just as much as Martell does. That's what makes this dynamic between them so layered. This isn't just two guys talking about walls and windows. This is history, trust, ambition, and accountability all wrapped up in one conversation. It's a real-time balancing act between believing in someone and challenging them to evolve. And then there's the bigger question hovering in the background. Who exactly is this house for? Martell believes Huntsville is ready for luxury. He argues the reason no one sold a $3.5 million home in the city isn't because the demand isn't there, it's because no one's built it yet. In his eyes, it's not about chasing existing trends, it's about creating them. That mindset, that's what separates followers from pioneers. It's bold, it's risky, and it's the kind of thinking that moves markets forward. Whether people agree with Martell or not, that type of vision is what sparks transformation. Because let's be honest, every major city that now has a booming luxury market started with one developer saying, "Why not here?" Martell is betting that Huntsville is next. Now, will the house actually sell? That's the million-dollar, or rather, multi-million-dollar question. The answer depends on a lot: build quality, marketing strategy, timing, and of course, the economic climate. But what stands out the most, Martell isn't afraid to bet on himself. He's not afraid to put up the money, set the bar high, and chase a goal that feels just a little too big. And honestly, that's what fans have been waiting to see. Not the messy headlines, not the relationship drama, but this version of Martell, the focused builder, the businessman, the big picture thinker, the man who's willing to take a risk and try to reshape a market that everyone else says is too small to matter. As Martell continues to outline his timeline and strategy, you can feel the pressure bubbling beneath the surface. He says he wants to finish in 8 months, maybe sooner, but he knows it's a tight deadline. Materials have to arrive on time, crews need to stay on schedule. The weather can't turn on him. Even the smallest delay could push things off course and cost him thousands. That's the unspoken tension, the balancing act between confidence and reality. Because while Martell talks a good game, the camera doesn't lie. You can see it in his eyes. He knows the stakes are high. And that's what makes this so compelling to watch. We're not just seeing blueprints. We're watching a man gamble on his future in real time. Chris, ever the steady hand, continues to play his role. Part advisor, part friend, part gentle skeptic. Every time Martell talks about speed, Chris reminds him of structure. Every time Martell brings up motivation, Chris circles back to planning. It's the perfect push and pull, passion versus practicality, and it makes their scenes electric. But don't forget, this is Love and Marriage Huntsville, so you already know the side commentary is coming. Miss Wanda. Oh, she's going to have opinions. Loud ones. She'll probably question the size of the house, the budget, the timeline, and maybe even Martell's confidence. And let's be honest, her commentary doesn't always make sense, but it always makes for good television. She brings the drama, the unpredictability, and the fire that keeps fans tuned in. Tisha, as usual, will be the calm in the chaos, trying to redirect Wanda's energy without setting off a bigger fire. But she knows better than anyone. You can't fully control Wanda. You can only brace yourself and ride the wave. That tension, that unpredictability. It's what keeps the audience glued to every word. But underneath all the chaos, all the risk, and all the opinions, there's something deeper. This isn't just about building a house. For Martell, this is about redemption. It's about rebuilding the part of himself that was lost in the headlines.